Hello, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin's price pump at the beginning of today and why it's actually gone down a little bit. Yes, it is a kind of a pump and dump effect. One reason, obviously, is because not Jerome Powell, but the Fed actually indicated that they are indeed going to stop interest rate hikes, at least for this month. This was already expected, so I did not expect this to actually move price up that much, but I think it was a boost of confidence and a little support for people that were looking for a break from the interest rate hikes, like everything was. And basically, an affirmation that the interest rate wasn't going up tomorrow and Wednesday is definitely going to help and stabilize prices a little bit for people that were unsure. But the real reason is because the Asian exchanges had Bitcoin way higher, and there was probably some arbitrage that brought it up. You can see that Bitcoin right now in the US exchanges is 26,800. But if you look at Upbit, if you look at Bitcoin, it's 27,100. And OSL, which is the Hong Kong one, had Bitcoin around 27,000. But it was even more disparate this morning. When I checked during the stream just a few hours ago, Upbit's Bitcoin was like 27,800, and I think it was higher even during the day. So the arbitrage actually brought Bitcoin up. And now I think the equilibrium value is going to be around 26,800, 26,900, kind of where it was before. So it was an Asian pump. I'm not really sure why the Asian prices were so much higher. They tend to do that sometimes. It could actually be because of Hong Kong. They just started with crypto. There might not be that much liquidity, and people might be FOMOing in, driving the price up. But overall, crypto is still up today. It's near 27,000, and I do believe it's going to continue higher. There seems to be a real FOMO from some parts of Asia to get into Bitcoin, and that's probably going to continue as people look for more investment opportunities, especially as certain interest rates go down. Maybe some countries are looking for other investment opportunities for their people, and maybe crypto is that investment opportunity. Countries in Asia are also opening up and being more friendly to crypto, which makes way for more money to actually flow into this asset class. So that's another reason I'm bullish for crypto overall. In the next couple of months, I do believe there's going to be a significant amount of capital that flows into here from Asia, even though the US is falling behind because of regulations imposed by the SEC and other congressmen, as we're going to talk about in a while. But overall, Asia is actually dragging it up. And I think into next year, Asia is going to keep dragging things up because Japan is becoming more and more open. South Korea is going to become more and more open. And of course, China might start to open up as Hong Kong has already kind of started that trend. So overall, I am very, very bullish for cryptocurrency as a whole. And I think we'll slowly rise as we get into next year and beyond, especially because the halving is next year. I think some people are going to start aping in right now in a while, at least towards the end of the year. And like I said, I don't think there'll be any more interest rate hikes, honestly. I think they're going to pause in September. The core CPI did come down. Gas isn't really a driver for the Fed because gas is always volatile. And the Fed can't look at the gas, like the price of gas, as an indicator of whether they're going to raise interest rates or not. So I think they'll kind of lay off on that. So that's actually pretty cool. And I do believe that's going to help crypto go up as it's going to stabilize fears. And I do think people are going to get greedy as soon as the price starts going up towards the halving, and they will FOMO in over the next year. Elizabeth Warren and the anti-crypto army gained 8 new allies. These are the enemies of crypto. So there's 9 senators that publicly back Elizabeth Warren's crypto deal, and she wants to expand the crypto deal that already failed once. And of course, she has so-called bipartisan 9 senators. It's really only bipartisan. It's 8 Democrats and 1 independent. I don't think any of the GOP actually voted for this bill. So the battle lines have been drawn. But this also means she failed to convince the other 41 Democrats in Senate to go along with this. So basically, Senators Gary Peters, Dick Durbin, Tina Smith, Janine Shaheen, Bob Casey, Richard Blumenthal, Michael Bennet, and Catherine Cortez Masto, along with independent Senator Angus King, as those who joined the bipartisan coalition supporting the bill. One of them is the chair of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, while Durbin is the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I don't actually think that these guys actually have that much say. They're not the head of the Banking Committee or anything like that, which has a lot of power. So the thing is, I do actually believe that the coalition might grow, but the coalition against the anti-crypto coalition is going to grow too. And I think overall, the wins politically do favor crypto in the long run, and they can't keep blocking out crypto forever because it's really going to hurt them politically. She says, our expanding coalition shows that Congress is going to take action. Our bipartisan bill is the toughest proposal on table cracking down on crypto's illicit use. But it's not really a bipartisan bill. You don't have any Republicans signed on. You have the one independent and you have 8 Democrats. And the thing is, like, bills have to go through both the House and the Senate, remind you. And the House is not going to be too, the House is really not going to be too friendly towards bills because they're GOP controlled. And I don't think they're going to be voting for it. And plus, the House has plenty of Democrats that will actually vote against this deal because they actually do believe that this is going to hinder innovation and hinder crypto expansion. And a lot of those guys want the jobs in their states. This was already introduced once, but Warren kind of like resurrected it. And she believes there's a $50 billion crypto tax gap with the IRS. And the U.S. Treasury risking missing out on roughly $1.5 billion in tax revenue for the 2024 financial year if the tax policy is delayed. The problem is $1.5 billion isn't really that much, not for the government, not since we have like a multi-trillion-dollar spending deal. So I think they are actually like arguing over small peanuts in terms of the government, and there's way, way bigger issues if you're looking at the IRS and taxes than crypto. But they're choosing to focus on crypto because they actually do believe that it is a big deal, which I definitely disagree. But the thing is, like, they might be hurting themselves and their party a lot more because digital assets might be a sleeper issue. This is mentioned by Tom Emmer and reported by Cointelegraph. And I actually do agree with Emmer. I mean, you're looking at maybe 8% of all people that really care about crypto. And if you're anti-crypto, you're going to isolate that 8%. Now, most of them are GOP voters anyways. But even if you lose a couple of percentage in Democratic voters, you're going to be in trouble. And there are Democratic voters in there. You know that. Because I'm one of them, but outside of that, there are plenty of Democratic congressmen in the House that actually support crypto. So basically, Tom Emmer, the majority whip of the United States House of Reps and crypto proponent, says that digital assets have become a sleeper issue in the U.S. politics, both at the state and federal levels. Speaking to Cointelegraph at Permissionless 2 conference in Austin, Texas on September 11th, Emmer said certain candidates running for office in 2024 may underestimate the impact of crypto issues. Maybe in an area like Silicon Valley, but I'm not really sure of anyone else. And I doubt you're going to get California to actually go Democrat, but you might be able to oust some of those other people. We didn't really see it in the midterms, so I think that's part of the reason why Democrats aren't seeing it as a major issue. But it actually has grown in the last couple of years, and it's getting louder. So I don't think they really want to be anti-crypto for that much longer, because it is actually going to hurt them politically in the long run. So it's politically potent regardless of your political persuasion. Democrats, Republicans, and others believe that your personal information is supposed to be yours, and you get to choose when you share it. Not everyone, though. So there's a generational divide in the U.S. in which residents could push back on policies that potentially inhibit the digital space. I do actually think like some Democrats are going to play on the fact that they are actually pro-crypto and not everyone is anti-crypto. The thing is, outside the senators themselves, I don't really see a huge anti-crypto population. I think it's just the senators trying to push back. And I don't really think they're going to be all that popular, that stance. And I think like the Democrats are going to eventually wake up and realize that being anti-crypto is not really a thing if you want to garner votes in the future. Obviously, like there's a whole debate on CBDCs. Like people like DeSantis, I think, is playing politically on it to try to ban it, as are some other governors. I obviously like Emmer's bill way better than Warren's. He introduced a bill aiming at limiting Federal Reserve from issuing a CBDC in the United States. He also backed appropriations amendment for the Securities and Exchange Commission's funds, which would actually limit the SEC's power over crypto. And I am all for that because I do believe the SEC is massively expanding their power over crypto. And of course, on September 20th, the House Financial Services Committee will meet in a markup session for the Digital Dollar Pilot Prevention Act. And I do think they have one more hearing for Gary Gensler where they won't throw him like really easy questions. So, we have a lot to actually look forward to. I really do hope they rein in the SEC's powers so they can't actually just sue crypto anything by any way they want. I do think this anti-crypto alliance has some urgency because they see that the SEC is losing all these lawsuits, and they really do want to clamp down on tax revenues for crypto. And to be fair, a lot of people do actually use crypto for tax evasion, but a lot of people also just use pure cash for tax evasion. And that's really I think what the government's they basically want to clamp down on the tax evasion so they actually get their share of the money. That's just what the government's all about. So that's kind of like what I see that's kind of what I see in crypto right now. I don't think any of these anti-crypto bills are really going to get passed. I think the House is going to block them. And I think that in the next Congress, it's going to shift around. The House is going to be Democrat. The Senate's probably going to be Republican. So you're going to be at a gridlock, and they're going to have to make a lot of compromises. And hopefully those compromises will actually be good for crypto, because you do want to let this innovative new market actually flourish in the United States. You don't really want to shut it down. And even a lot of the Democratic congressmen are actually seeing that. So hopefully after the next election, regardless of which way it goes, we will get a better market for cryptocurrency. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.